Hello guys, it is Dane here again, and today it is another episode of Formula 1 2017 gameplay and other fantastic highlights video from the AOR race, and I have some good news as well in connection with the esports, so I definitely recommend you to stay tuned. But before we begin, I would like to tell that this is another commentary that I haven't written and I'm not reading at all, so there might be a few issues in my English because I usually read my commentaries, but I have so much less time nowadays, so I just need to improvise. But this is my fast lap from the quali, but I don't say that's my fastest lap because actually after that run I will give it another go because I saw that I didn't improve by that much, and you will see why. So far the lap looked great, but as you can see I'm not using really the track and the whole length, but here I just went a little bit too optimistic and I missed the racing line and went to the gravel and lost about a tenth or so there. But on the other sections I was a little bit like too cautious and I didn't want to get a penalty, I didn't want to get any corner cutting and any grass issues, and I didn't want to spin, of course. So this lap was a little bit messy. As you can see, I lost the apex. I missed the apex heading to the last chicane. So I decided to go for another lap because I fueled my car accurately to have 2 fast laps in maximum fuel mode. So here we are, and the first combination is much better. I didn't lose the backhand at all like in the first attempt. I can stay on the throttle fully and I'm already gaining on my time. Here I'm a little bit cautious. I can be a little bit more aggressive with the throttle, but it's so good so far. And here I missed the apex a little bit, but in this corner it's not a huge problem. So far this lap is great. Here I just try to use the whole track, try to go until the white line, but I was afraid to get a warning there. Here as well I tried to stay more on the inside and hit a later apex, and I managed to do that. And here I just tried to brake as late as possible, but even with a little bit of a luck I didn't miss the apex. So far it's great. I stay very neat, I stay very much on the inside line, and here I hit every apex, and here, not like in the last attempt, I didn't miss the apex neither. So yes, this was my fastest lap from the quali, and as you can see it got me a provisional pole position, but heading to the leaderboard I am only P3, and Marek and Brandon Lee in the front row are very close to each other, and congratulations for them. As you could see, if you paid attention to the weather, it is raining at the end of the race, so that's why we didn't really know what strategy to use, whether to risk and put medium tires for the second stint or even put soft tires, but I think I will put a hard compound in lap 9 or lap 10. I have to say that I have a pretty good getaway and I am on the outside of Marek. I broke a little bit too late and I really paid attention to him, but there was somebody on my inside line and I needed to give a little bit of space and I got squeezed out, and actually there were 2 cars, Hamilton and Marcel Kiefer, who were a little bit into each other because of some kind of desync. And I defended the inside line here, but Steve was very aggressive from behind and put his car on the inside line, and I actually lost another position to him. So here in the first lap I didn't have the best racecraft, and it all started because I really paid attention to Marek and to gain a position and didn't expect to lose one. Hamilton and Marcel Kiefer are into each other. Yes, as you can see, it is a little bit funny here, and we are in the first lap, and Marek and Marcel Kiefer and Hamilton are really close to each other, and Marcel Kiefer and Hamilton are actually into each other, and they are not lovers or not anything, as I get my first warning in the first lap, so it's not looking great so far, but there are some desync and I was really hoping that it will not go that long. I try to attack Steve from the outside line, but he manages to brake a little bit later than me, so I can skip my car around the outside. I try to get these corners a little bit wider on the entry and neater on the exit and better on the throttle, but it is very hard to follow on this track in the slipstream because there is turbulent air effect in the game, if you wouldn't know that, and it is very hard to stay with equal cars very close to the first runner or the runner in front of you, because in the fast corners the aerodynamics is very important and you actually can easily lose the backhand, you easily can go to the gravel, and it is very hard to attack. And as you can see, starting lap 3, I'm still attacking Steve, and unfortunately Brandon Lee just surfaced away in the front row and he just went so away and leading the race. So congratulations for his pace, but I was very frustrated because of Steve was slower than me. I felt that he is slower than me. On practice sessions in dry conditions I could do like 20.7, 20.6 maybe even as the first laps of the race, and now as you can see my fastest lap is not like that at all, and I didn't make many mistakes. I tried to stay very close, I tried to use all the power of my car, but actually in these sections it's very hard. And as you can see, Marek and Hamilton and Marcel Kiefer were battling with each other, but they were ahead by about 2 or 3 seconds, and I was desperate get past Steve. So again, I put my car into rich mix, I have a nice little slipstream, I getting very close, and I dive to the inside and Steve just closes the door. We made a bit of contact, but it's all fine. I try it now from the outside, but Steve has the racing line. And again, I try to put my car to reach and maybe have a look here, but no, Steve brakes very late. Here in the next combination, I think I wouldn't try a dive bomb. Steve defends the inside line a little bit, at least it was a small sign in mid corner, and I am very close. I am definitely faster, so I need to get past. But here in the middle sections I put my fuel to standard, or I put my fuel to even lean, because you may not know, but the car, it can overheat in the slipstream if you use a lot of rich mixture. So if it goes over about 140 or 145 degrees, it will lose from its performance. So I needed to keep it very nice with the engine as well, while not losing any performance, you know. So it was very hard to attack, but here now I am very close. I have a very good exit. I definitely nailed that last section, and I put it to rich mix again. I have slipstream, I opened the DRS, so I should be fine. I get into the slipstream until the last moment. Steve goes to defend the inside line. I'm actually ahead. I try to brake very late. We made a little bit of a contact again, but it's not much, and I have the position, but Steve now starts the corner from a little bit of a wider line, but actually he feels my slipstream instantly and he just loses all his grip in my turbulent air. So I made a very nice position, and we are in only lap 5. There is like 27 or 28 laps left. A quick match is not working for me at the moment, so I have a lot of time to at least get the second position from the race, because Brandon Lee is nearly uncatchable on this track and he is absolutely master drives this circuit, and absolutely congratulations to him. As you can see, I make a little bit of mistake here. It's only 1 or 2 tenths. I logged up and I missed the apex totally because there was no braking board on that corner, and you will see very soon that there will be no braking board at the first corner. So actually in this race it was very hard to brake at the right moment. Lap 9 I decide to go to the pit very aggressively and braking as late as I can, and I managed to not get any penalty because I was thinking about a nice little undercut on VP Marek, because I was within 1 second to him before I made the pit stop, and definitely those 10 laps all soft tires will not work that good for him as my prime tires, because as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, I planned to put prime tires on. I didn't want to risk with soft compounds, and I didn't want to risk with medium compounds neither, because we didn't know when the rain will come, or it will come or not, and I have to make it to the end of the race with these tires. So if the rain doesn't come, or if it's very weak and we don't need to pit, then you know, I need to make it until the end of the race with this compound. And in this lap I was very solid. I didn't make any mistake. I knew that it's really important, and I was in rich mixture, and I used all the track, as you can see, from white line to white line, braking very late, not locking up, hitting all the apex, because I knew that it's crucial for me to do the undercut here, because Marek was also a little bit slower compared to my race pace. At least he was faster in the qualifying session. And here my teammate is in the pit, and as I saw from the map, just saw a little bit, Marek chose to go to the pit as well, and now all is decided whether Marek is coming behind me. And yes, I actually overtook his car, and it's a very nicely working undercut. And surprisingly, Marcel Kiefer and Hamilton, who are, you know, lovers and still into each other, they didn't come to the pit, so I believe they want to put a softer compound to their car, and it gives me a very good chance to do an undercut. And there is Hamilton. I managed to undercut, and there is Marcel Kiefer in front of me, and he did put the soft compound of the tires, so he will make another pit stops, that 100%, because he won't be able to make it till the end with these tires. So he prays for the rain, he thinks that he will be lucky, but I believe that I will be right, and I have the provisional second position. On the other hand, we have to consider those cars who haven't pitted yet, because they are on the hard compound, the hardest compound of the tires, and if the rain comes, they only need to pit for the intermediates. So actually it's quite nicely working for them, and we jump straight to lap 22, so quite a big of a lap switch now. And actually you can see that I am behind of those cars who I have already mentioned, and they haven't pitted, and they still have the track position over me, and they still have nicely working hard compound of tires, because this hard compound of tire was absolutely fantastic, and it has like nowhere at all on this track. And Marcel Kiefer needed to go to the pit again, so his strategy definitely didn't work out, but he had an amazing race pace, and he's a little bit unlucky now, and sorry that I can't speak English, and but still I'm only in P5, while I am definitely aiming for P2, and there are 3 cars ahead of me who haven't made a pit stop yet. There is Fabrizio Donoso in the 2nd place, and there are this Renault VP Max and Failer actually in the McLaren, who is doing an amazing performance. And I try to attack them. Of course I need to get track position, because as you can see, the clouds are becoming darker and darker, and I can't wait, because as soon as it starts to rain, and if we go to the pit in the same time and I'm behind, then I will lose the position. And if rain, they have a good race pace, and why wouldn't they have a good race pace on the rain, then I wouldn't even be able to get a penalty. So I really need to push now, and I really need to use all the power of my car. And actually, as you can see on my screen, it's literally started to rain, and we don't know yet how heavy it will be. What we know that I will put it to rich mix, and I will try to attack VP Max for first, because I need to get past them in 1 or 2 laps at maximum. And I try to look a little bit to the inside, but VP Max brakes quite late, and he gets DRS and slipstream as well from ACR failure. So that's why I just can't make those positions what I really should do, because it starts raining, and actually the rain is becoming heavier and heavier, and the clouds are darker and darker. And if I don't get past them, we go to the pit at the same time, and it will be very hard to pass on the intermediates. And as you can see, we are in a lap 24, and I am very close to VP Max, but still the turbulent air is working fine for him, and I can't stay just very close. And here I will not make any Ricardo style move, any dive bomb, and we break quite late, both of us. I managed to hit the apex, he missed it a little bit. I put my car to lean mixture to not to overheat the engine. I am a very close, and here in this section you just have to be patient. You mustn't miss any apex, you mustn't lose the back end of the car because of a stupid curb. And here I put it to rich mix very soon, and I open the ERS and I have slipstream on VP Max. He doesn't really defend the inside line, he does actually, and I try to go from the outside, but I just simply can't overtake him. And here I try to start the corner from a wider line to have a better exit, and the ends stay very neat, stay out of the turbulent air, and I am on the inside. He leaves me the space, and actually I dived in. I have the track position and I have the position, but it's raining and there is still Fabracer and Failure ahead of me, and Fabracer is quite far. It's about 3 seconds and he's on the older compound, I know, but it's 3 seconds and it rains very hard, and actually we need to go to the pit in the next 2 laps, so I need to get past Failure at least, and I hope that Fabracer's tires will die, because it just seems to be not working out for me compared to those guys who haven't made a pit stop yet, because they started out of P10 and they are on the hardest compound of the tires. By an attack Failure here, put it to rich mix and he defends the inside line, but I try to brake very late, and as you can see there is Fabracer ahead as well, and he actually got a puncture. Fabracer got a puncture here, an amazing space and pace around the whole race, and he still got a puncture because those tires, they have a pretty good tire wear, but they couldn't make 25 laps. So Fabracer is very unlucky, and it was only at the first section of the lap, so he lost so much time of just going into the pits from that position. He lost so much time doing the whole track with about 100 km/h. At the end of the results screen you will see how much time he lost, but as you can see I already set to put the intermediates, and track got very slow, and I was not sure if it's the right to stay out for that long, because some cars behind already went to the pit, and at this part the track was definitely not working for the soft tires anymore, and Brandon Lee was in the pit again, so yeah, I was leading the race, but at this moment Inters were actually the better tires, so Brandon Lee will keep his first position, and I just hope that I didn't lose that much of a time, that I lose my second place, what I got with amazing fights. So I come out from the pit, and as you can see from the map I have a very nice 4 seconds advantage, so it is all working and it is all be put it together, and I actually really enjoy that one. In the last few laps I just need to get to home, and I just need to pay attention to my car, but I hope it won't be a problem because I am an AOR champion, so I think it wouldn't be any big of an issue to do 4 laps in clean air with 4 seconds of an advantage. And as you can see we are in the last lap, I'm just starting the last sector, and basically this was the race, and I really enjoyed it. And if you are still here in the video, the big thing that I wanted to speak about at the very beginning, but the race was that intense that I just couldn't mention, time at Marduk. So Benjamin joined to Veloce Esports as well, which I am very happy about. He is an amazing content creator, an amazing pilot, and I actually spoke with him quite a lot of time. And this is it, this is what I wanted to say. I am very happy that you have been here, and I really hope that you enjoy this video, and see you in the next one.